Howdy ho, y'all. How you doing? Listen, it is Wednesday and it is a beautiful day down here in Texas. It's like 80 degrees, so we had to get the walk on. Um, so let's chat. I'm just here. I have about I have about 36 minutes. So I'm going to chat for a bit. If you have any questions, by all means, put your questions up there. If you don't have any, it's okay. This is impromptu, non-scheduled. We just went live and we're going to talk about like some from me to you, whatever, dog. Let's just get into it. I was feeling really grateful today. It's a good day. My one-on-ones went well. I have a couple more coming up. Actually, just one more coming up. It's Wednesday, and then I get to go and do my thing. But I was just feeling really grateful today. I don't know if it's just the weather. I don't know if it's today. Today is Wednesday. Um, I just was feeling really good and appreciative today. And so I was like, okay, why are you feeling so appreciative, man? And when you feel appreciative, by the way, go ahead and be grateful, give thanks, start naming some things that you feel good about. Like, don't waste the appreciation feeling. Like, lean into that energy, lean into that, whatever you want to call it, like, lean into that because it will spill over and it'll impact everything all around your day. So I was feeling good and I was like, you know what, just from me to you, those of you who have rocked with me before I even fully was doing the trainings like I'm doing now, fully when I was talking about, hey, I want to go speak, but I hadn't yet spoke anywhere. And those of you that rock with me there, individuals who rock with me in officiating, I was feeling appreciative. And then I began to name things I was appreciative of and that I was grateful for. And I just was like, man, I'm so happy I get to do what I get to do. Because but for grace, I could be anywhere else. Even when it sucks, I still am like, okay, my suck is probably somebody else's not suck. So I'm just feeling really appreciative. And I was like, all right. And the comment that really came to me was, people say what they want to do, right? People say what they want to do. Hey, I want to be a speaker. Hey, I want to write books. Hey, I want to officiate basketball. Hey, I want to lose weight. They say what they want to do, but they don't want what they say. It's crazy. It's like they say what they want, but they don't want what they say. When they see what it takes, or when they see that you can't just, click your heels like Dorothy on the Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. You can't say click, click, click. There's no place like speaking. Click, click, click. There's no place like being an author. Like, you have to do some work with it. And so it's easy. It's easy to say what you want, but then, do you really want what you say when it's time for the rubber to meet the road? When it's time, even in the reset, when it's time for you to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. And come to the meetings, when it's time for you to do the homework, when it's time for you to follow through on what you said you wanted to do. One of my mentors, Crystal, she's an amazing lady, but she's like, the fortune's in the follow through. So, do you really want what you want to say? And I was really thinking about that because the fact of the matter is, most of us have the same 24 hours, whether we know it or not. And most of us have some of the same challenges. We like to think that our challenge is different from everyone else's. Well, we don't have time for it right now, or I'm going to do this when. But if it's something like something you do every day, like a standard operating cost, or something that's part of your day-to-day working, then whatever you want to do has nothing to do with what's part of your everyday working, other than making time for it. So people say what they want, but they don't always want what they say. I wanted to share that. Just always want to give some value. Our nugget already. Hey guys, thanks for the love. If you have any questions, you can ask any questions. I will answer anything. I see some people who have joined me also on Instagram. Whoop, whoop. Feel free to share this video. I will talk about some professional development, but probably from the personal part. So here's the deal. Most of us have the same challenges. We want to do something. We feel like we don't have the time. Okay, let me take that away from you. Everyone has the same 24 hours. And when you decide to do something, that not only are you deciding and putting your eye on what it is you want to do, you're also deciding not to do other things that you've been given that time to. Man, y'all, it could be something as simple as scrolling. It's something as simple as scrolling. And I understand the scrolling. I was like, am I addicted to this thing? I literally had to change my settings and move things off my phone so I don't even see them. So if you send a message and you didn't get something back until like the next day or 48 hours later, please charge it to my head, not my heart. But I'm not playing. I can go on there because someone has sent me a video, and next thing I know, 20 minutes have gone by. And that's on a light day. You can really be on there an hour or two in the evening hours. If you're not working or doing something, you can be on there and be like, how did this time fly by? So we all have the same 24 hours. It's just, will we be intentional about it? Decide whatever you put your mind on. That's what you're deciding on. That also means you're deciding not to do other things. So people say they don't have enough time. We just dealt with that. We do have time. We have time. I know right now somebody's like, well, I don't have time. You don't know this, this, and this, and I don't have time right now. Okay, you choosing not to have time. I love you. Don't be mad at me. I'm just saying you are choosing not to have time. Another thing people want to be able to do is actually be able to articulate how they are feeling or what they need or their vision. They want to be able to articulate it being concise and not speaking circular and just going in circles and circles and circles. I'm going to let you in on something that's an unpopular opinion. Be concise when you need to be concise. If you are saying, if you're giving deliverables, an update, if you're informing like your upline or your investors or somebody you want to buy in, be concise. However, if you are attempting to persuade, use a story. Use the story. Make sure you know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Don't get stuck in the story and go somewhere else, you know. But use a story then, because stories evoke feelings, they evoke vision. People can see what it is you're saying. You're casting the vision when you're using a story. And you're saying, this is what happened. This is why I'm grateful for what I get to do, not what I have to do. I'm grateful for what I get to do because it's an honor to be able to do it. And now I'm going to share with you some of the people stories, like people who were educators. And they were like, well, I want to do A, B, C, and D. And then they were able to do A, B, C, and D because they actually did the follow through. They actually did the work. I helped with the plan, I helped with the inspiration, and I helped with the structure on how to get from point A to point B. But the moral of the story is they did the work. They did the work. That's why in some of the programs I have, if you have 3 absences, like you're out of there. And some people be like, girl, I don't care if they there or not. They paid their money. They should get it. No, you messing up my rate. And if you have 3 absences, more than likely you are not ready to do what you are saying you want to do. Oh, I know it sounds horrible, right? Y'all don't be mad at me. I'm just talking. It's just lunchtime talking. It's just lunchtime talking. So people want to be able to articulate what it is they want to do. And so when you want to be concise, is if you're speaking to your upline, you have limited time, you have like 2 or 3 minutes and you have to do it. This is why people develop things like elevator speeches. So you want to know, you want to be able to say what you do in 30 seconds, in 3 minutes, in 7 minutes, and in 15 minutes. With the 15 minutes, please include a couple of stories so people can see the beginning, the middle, and the end. They can see the why, the process, the problem, and the promise. They can see all of that in the story that you're giving. So individuals who were like, yeah, I've been an educator. I've even been a system educator, but I want to move into upper level, like management, director, that type of position, executive positions. Okay, we build a plan and then they hit that spot. They hit that spot. I don't hit the spot. They hit the spot. I just help facilitate and help navigate with the structure to get them to the spot. And when we begin to do things that we're familiar with, but are not, you can be familiar with something, but it's not actually moving you toward your goal. So if something is not moving them toward their goal, that's why I may come in and I may ask some questions, some power questions to get feedback, to challenge them, not oppositionally, but challenge them to do just a little more. What if we do this instead of this? However, they still have to do the work. Another thing people want to do is they want to increase their EQ, their emotional intelligence. Here's the deal: people respond typically from their primary giftings. For those of you all who have a spiritual background and understand giftings, people tend to respond from their giftings and their strength zone or their zip code, what they've already known. And what you've already known may not serve you from where you're going to go. And you have to be able to look at it and see, okay, if I want to go A, B, and C, what parts of what I've already known are not able to go with me? You know, like a rocket, when it gets to a certain part in the atmosphere, you know, it has to disconnect, separate from the boosters. What I think is amazing, you guys, I subscribe to biblical principles. So I'm going to step out for just a little bit of what I'm talking about. I'm going to step over here and I'm going to unpack to you guys. It's amazing that the word death, stay with me, the word death actually has to do with separation. For those of you who study the Garden of Eden, I'm in a Bible study now, like a women's group when they're talking about that. But the separation, the death that was spoke of in the Garden of Eden is separation. It's separation, separating from God. And then you look at other parts where it says something will die, and it's only about separation. And so those boosters can help you get to a certain part, and then you have to separate, decide. When you decide on something, the side part is like the killing part. It's the death, pesticide, homicide, suicide, those type of things. So the side part hits, but the side is the separation. All separation isn't evil. All separation isn't evil. It may use different language, but it's still separation. So with the EQ, knowing and being able to, now I'm stepping back over into emotional intelligence. With EQ, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to separate, knowing how to recognize what part to separate from your past communication styles or the past language you would use to what you want to use in this instance. Um, People who may look like me or may be my gender will say, hey, is that code switching? Call it what you will. I call it being multilingual, like bilingual, but still in the English language. So knowing what to use and when to use it, that's emotional intelligence. Also knowing that just because something triggers you doesn't mean it's off limits for everyone else. That's your trigger. So own your trigger. Remove the trigger pins, take the bullets out, do whatever it is you need to do because that is your trigger. And it is it's unrealistic for you to feel like your trigger should control everyone else. It's your trigger, control your trigger. Instead of making your trigger or assuming your trigger should control everyone else, you control your trigger. That's why we always talk about control what you can. Just because something is concerning to you, if it's outside of your control, you have to control what you can control. You'd be amazed at how much ground you can cover if you just control what you can control. So, grateful for what I get to do, just sharing some things with you all today. I love it. Another thing, when you are able to be emotionally intelligent, people tend to use the word empathy a lot with emotional intelligence. There are 3 different types of empathy. I won't go into them now, but I encourage you to look up. Just go to Google and say, hey, what are the 3 types of empathy? And when you see them, move accordingly. Know that empathy is not a one size fits all. It doesn't mean that you have to sit in your office with someone for 45 minutes listening to them rehearse and rehash the same story they've been telling you for 6 months of why they're not able to make the deliverables, of why they shouldn't be held to the minimum standards that everyone else in your office, deposit, team, business is being held to. Okay, because then you are a prisoner of that empathy. And ultimately, you have to either give them tools for them to power through, navigate through, or circumvent whatever is problematic to them, or you have to let them go. Oh, okay, there's that death again. Separate. You have to separate from them because at the end of the day, people have to do the work. With everything I'm doing, and I said some of the things people have seen, they had to do the work. I helped, yes, but they had to do the work. So you want to improve on your EQ. Most people want to improve on their emotional intelligence. Most people don't recognize that people primarily speak, meaning initially at the top of a conversation, where they are from, based on their primary giftings, are based on their strengths, meaning they come from their perspective only initially. However, when you get into upper leadership and more executive roles, these things are more commonplace. People actually do know about emotional intelligence. They're engaging in active listening. They're using power questions. They're using questions that will allow them to actively listen. They're not using questions that are yes or no questions. Yes or no questions will always be a closed loop. You want it to be open. You want it to be enhancing. You want to be able to really hear the information. And the more somebody is speaking and you're active listening, you can hear what is being said. You can actually hear what is not being said as well. What's something else? Oh, another common thing is people get irritated by other people's procrastination or other people's method if it is not their method. That's crazy, right? But that ties back into the emotional intelligence. Jelena Simpson with Jelena Simpson Consulting shared something with me years ago, and she was like, "A way is not the way." Now, I'm not talking about an IFU, but I'm saying something that has to do with your preference or what I do. People who work shift work, you'll hear things like, "Well, on my shift, we do this." And they're very proud when they say that. On my shift, we do this. That statement actually says, on my shift, we do it right. I don't know what these other folks are doing, which actually creates silos and competitiveness when everyone should be working toward the same goal. If we're all one unit, we're all one department, then that's what we are. So EQ, communication, not thinking everybody should do something just because you do it that way. That is your approach. One approach doesn't mean it's the only approach. Again, outside of IFUs or a policy that you must follow, yes, there's one way to do that. It's clearly written out. Just follow the instructions. But your preferences and how you like something, it doesn't necessarily dominate. So if you are a lead and you become a supervisor and you don't like how the manager is doing something and he's new leadership, but you've been somewhere for 10 years and he is doing something different than you, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just doing something different. A way doesn't mean it is the only way. It is simply a way, not the way. So if new leadership is coming in and they're doing something different and you don't really like how they're rocking or like what they're doing, first off, smile, fix your face, and see. Let their approach succeed or fail on its own merits. Like lean in. That is still your leadership if that's the manager and you're the supervisor, and you guys are still one team. So I just wanted to share some things that I think everybody typically, in my experience and my studies and the work that I do in the case studies and in the case studies that I use, people think they don't have time. You have time. People think one way is the only way. It's not. People think that because I see it this way, I'm saying the same thing differently. People think because this is how I would approach it, everyone should approach it this way. That's not going to happen. People want to know more about EQ. And sometimes people know where they want to go directionally, but they don't know the next step. That's another thing everyone seems to have problems with. Uh, Wait, that's a lie. Everyone doesn't seem to have problems. That's an that's another thing when people are talking. They're like, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to go east. I want to write a book. I want to switch. I want to go to another hospital. I want to work with another school district." They know where they want to go, but they don't know the next step. And so that's coming from general to specific. And anytime you want to see movement, even if you want to come out of overwhelm, you have to go from general to specific. The moment you go to specific, you can take care of that specific thing, and that moves you closer to your goal. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you guys again for rocking with me. Those of you who rock with me in officiating, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That has been very helpful in my life. I've been able to use those principles to transfer it into other areas, being able to stand on your own, being able to bounce back from mistakes, because the game doesn't stop just because you made a bad call in the first quarter doesn't mean the game stopped. No one's going to sit there and be like, "Oh my God," you can't go back and say, "I'm sorry." Like the call is made. So now you have to like adjust, learn on the fly. And that's been something that's been helpful for me in my life. So thank you all for that, for rocking with me there. Thank you all for rocking with me on the podcast, for helping me and supporting and doing different things. Not just for me, but for the industry, for helping us level up and level the playing field and bring visibility to the voices that are doing work even outside of a certain city, and then being able to connect those voices with that city and making the world smaller even as it's larger in the same place, because we're able to do it virtually. And if there's an internet connection, anybody can get it. So people in rural communities can get the same information of people with high volume and lots of change, technology change, information. They can get the answers that they need. They may not be able to make it to an annual conference, but via online and virtual, they're able to do those things. So thank you all for rocking with me there. Thank you all for trusting me with your professional development and personal growth and being involved in the programs and then following through on what the program said. And now you are actually able to experience things and able to do, like, replicate the model, like modeling the way, training the trainer in a different way. Now you're able to do some things, and it's amazing. So thank you all for that. And the last thing I want to say, that most people seem to deal with, some people call it time management, but it's not, because we have the same 24 hours. It's prioritization. No, that's not the last thing. It's one more thing after that. I'm sorry, it's right there. Prioritization. Lots of individuals have difficulties with prioritization. They think because something is right now, it's a priority. No, no. I'm just going to let this sit there. Just because somebody brings it to you right now doesn't mean it's priority. It means they brought it to you right now. But you get to decide what's priority. You get to decide what's priority. The last thing I want to say people struggle with is going to go back to this priority is the ability to say no. To say no and sit with it. Just to say no. You know, hey, can you do this? No, I can't. Um, Another way you can say no for prioritization is no, I can't. Maybe I can get to it next week or in 2 weeks. Can you put it on my calendar and we can talk about it? Because just because something is brought to you right now doesn't mean it's a priority right now. And for individuals who have difficulty saying no, maybe because you don't want to disappoint people, a lot of people, I want to say 35% or more, deal with this hardship of saying no. It may even be more than that. I'm using some DISC personality numbers. It may be more than that. But what happens if you say yes to everything? You're going to overextend yourself. You'll end up burning out. And the things that you are actually working on or hired to do, they take a back burner because you said yes to these other things. The the crazy thing is, I know you all, if you're listening to this, I know you can see like, man, that's true. That's true. But remember I said I subscribe to biblical principles? That's what it means when it says somebody's ensnared by the words of their mouth. That's why salesmen, when they talk to you, they ask, hey, well, what's preventing you from doing this? If you know, why wouldn't you do it? And you don't want to just say, no, I don't want it. Even though you feel pressure, you don't want to be like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't feel 100% on it. No, no, you don't want to say that. So you're going to say, well, A, B, C, D. And you know what that salesman is like? Yes. Not even in a bad way, because the salesman's job is to sell, but they're like, yes, because you've given them a reason. So now if they can help you navigate that reason, remove that reason, or if they can disqualify that reason, you're going to be stuck with a yes that you didn't even want to say in the beginning. Listen, we're just having lunch today. That's free. That's free. You're going to be stuck with something. It's like if someone asks you, hey, can you take me to the grocery store? You don't want to take them to the grocery store, but you're like, no, I got to pick up my kid. And then somebody listens, like, oh, I'll pick them up for you. Guess what you have to do now? Now you're going to take somebody to the grocery store and you didn't even want to. So, guys, listen, I love what I get to do. So, from me to you, I just wanted to, like I said, it's like 80 something degrees in Texas. And if you know anything about Texas, just the other day it was 98. Texas don't play. It will bake you like you a piece of chicken. It will cook you. So I'm enjoying this day. I'm enjoying the walk. I had a little bit of time and I have about 12 minutes. So I'm going to eat me a little chicken salad. I don't see any questions. This was impromptu. Let's see, emotional intelligence, education, time, prioritization, the ability to say no. Do you guys have any questions? All right. If you don't have any questions, then I am going to bounce. I hope y'all have a good day. Listen, if I have to sum this up with anything, I've said some things. I'm happy for what I get to do. I hope you are happy with what you get to do too. I hope that bad days are an exception to the rule. I hope that you are living what you want to live and seeing the fruits of your labor, the benefits of your work ethic. Um, but if in this season you are sensing transition right now, If you need to stop consuming all the news and everything because it's taking up all your time and all your thoughts, and you can't be creative, and you just feel with dread and fear and mad and angry and, oh, shoot, it's their fault, this fault, pointing fingers and all that. Stop. Let the manna drizzle down. Stop consuming. Anything that you cannot personally control is dead conversation leading to dead endeavors. I want you to have endeavors that bear the fruit you want to see. Okay? So stop all that. If consumption of the social media and things are messing you up, or the conversations you're having in the break room are messing you up, or causing you to look at something with disdain that you were happy to get, like your job. If you can't stand your job now, but you loved your job when you got it, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. So, if you need to stop, if you need to kill, let it be dead, all that extra consumption that's jacking you up, who's in your ear, then do that so that you can be grateful for what you get to do too. Okay? If you sense transition during this time, even though you may be hearing from other people, get still somewhere, y'all. I don't care if you ain't a believer, don't worry about it, but get still somewhere and ask yourself, okay, what do I want? What is my why? And what am I looking forward to? What is my why? What do I want? What is my why? And what am I looking forward to? So if you want a new position, and the reason you want the new position is because you want to spend more time with your children, that's your why. Okay, then what are you looking forward to? I'm looking forward to attending more games. I'm looking forward to being present as they're going through puberty so I can help them navigate and make decisions and not be overwhelmed. Then get still and then move in that transition. But you're going to have to cut some things off when that happens. Transition always comes with cutting some things off. I'm not saying people preserve relationships. Preserve relationships that you want to keep until you 80. 880, blind, crippled, crazy, whatever. Keep the relationships you want to keep, but other stuff you may have to cut off. It may need to be killed because you need to give that time, that energy, that emotion, that dedication. It needs to be earmarked for something else now. That's all I got, y'all. All right, I got 9 minutes. I got to bounce. Y'all be easy. Thanks so much for the love. Thanks so much for watching this and doing whatever. Y'all have a good day. Remember to pray. Be kind to somebody. Be nice to somebody. Not for wealth or fame, but because it's a good thing to do. God loves you more than I do. I love you too, but God loves you even more than that. And y'all be easy. Don't let people pull you into arguments and have you spending all your energy on who's right and who's wrong. Because typically, if you're pointing your finger at somebody else, there's a few fingers pointing back at you. Be easy.
Stop. I want it. I got it. 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 I want it. I got it.